Imagine waking up every morning feeling grounded, focused, and ready, paying little heed to what the day may bring. Visualize yourself navigating through life's highs and lows with ease and adaptability, your inner calm unshaken by external chaos. This isn't just a distant dream, it's a way of living that has been pursued and practiced for ages, rooted in the ancient wisdom of Stoicism. Today, we explore a theme that goes beyond understanding Stoic philosophy to recognizing and altering behaviors that change our course. Stoicism teaches us how to live virtuously and find joy in accepting what we cannot change while working diligently on what we can. It's about recognizing our ability to develop inner strength, insight, and serenity regardless of external circumstances. Stoic principles guide us to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, to value simplicity over complexity, and to seek fulfillment in the elevation of our character. However, in our journey through modern life, we often find ourselves deviating from these principles, caught up in habits and mindsets that mislead us. These anti-Stoic behaviors act as obstacles to our personal and philosophical growth, preventing us from experiencing the full richness of life and from embodying the Stoic virtues of courage, justice, wisdom, and temperance. Before we delve deeply into the transformative insights of Stoicism, I encourage you to engage with this content actively, not just as a viewer but as a participant in this journey of personal growth. Remember, you are not like the majority, you have chosen to embrace this path, making you an exception. So don't skip any part of this video. Each section is a crucial step towards understanding and integrating Stoic practices into your life, helping you stand out in a world of conformity. In a world flooded by advertisements and consumer culture, it's easy to believe that happiness lies in the next purchase or possession. Yet, Stoicism encourages us to find contentment and joy within ourselves. It teaches us that the pursuit of material wealth can often be a distraction from achieving genuine inner peace and satisfaction. Stoics believe that by focusing on our inner selves, our character, our virtues, and our actions, we can find a deeper, more lasting form of happiness. So how can we apply this insight in our daily lives? It starts with shifting our focus from what we want to acquire to what we want to experience and become. Think about the moments that have truly enriched your life. Chances are, they're not about the things you've bought but the experiences you've had and the relationships you've nurtured. Whether it's a meaningful conversation with a friend, a breathtaking hike in nature, or the fulfillment of personal growth, these are the joys that stay with us, that shape who we are and who we aspire to be. Let's challenge ourselves to value simplicity and authenticity over luxury and pretense. By doing so, we not only free ourselves from the endless cycle of wanting but also open ourselves to the genuine satisfaction that comes from living a life aligned with Stoic principles. Remember, it's not the stuff we accumulate that defines our legacy, it's the insight we gain, the love we share, and the peace we find within ourselves. We live in a world where the number of likes, shares, and followers can seem like direct measures of our worth. But here's something to consider: when we base our self-worth on others' approval, we're building our sense of self on very unstable ground. It's like constructing a house on sand, the slightest tide can wash it all away. Stoicism, with its profound insight, offers us a solid foundation. This ancient philosophy teaches us that seeking validation from outside ourselves is a precarious path. The Stoics empower us to look inward for approval and self-worth. They advise us to cultivate virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, traits that define our character and which no external force can diminish or take away. Consider this in your daily interactions. How often do we change our opinions, silence our true thoughts, or alter our behavior just to fit in or please someone else? It's almost like wearing a mask, isn't it? But the problem with wearing a mask is that over time, it can become suffocating. Deep down, we know it's not who we truly are. Stoicism urges us to remove the mask, to embrace our authentic selves, and to find validation from within. This doesn't mean we should become indifferent to others or dismiss feedback altogether. After all, humans are inherently social creatures, and connection is vital. What Stoicism teaches is the art of discernment, the ability to take in external opinions, weigh them against our sense of purpose, and decide which input can help us grow. It's about being secure in who we are and our journey of personal development, regardless of praise or criticism. So the next time you find yourself craving approval or feeling swayed by someone else's opinion, stop and ask yourself, am I seeking this approval for growth, or is it to compensate for a lack of self-confidence? Remember, your worth doesn't diminish because someone fails to see your value. You are the caretaker of your worth, and it's your inner virtues, your actions, and your integrity that truly define you. Have you ever found yourself replaying a conversation over and over in your mind or endlessly worrying about a future event? That's rumination, a mental loop playing the same chords of regret, anxiety, and fear on repeat. But here's the key, while we're busy ruminating about the past or the future, the present, the only moment we truly have, is slipping away. Stoicism, with its rich history of practical wisdom, offers us a lifeline out of this cycle. The Stoics weren't just philosophers, they were pragmatists who understood the value of focusing on the present. They taught that while we can't change the past and have no control over the future, we can influence the present. By anchoring ourselves in the now, we can break free from the chains of rumination that bind us to what we can't change or predict. But how do we do this? How do we pull our minds out of the shadows of the past or the haze of the future? The answer lies in practicing mindfulness and cultivating gratitude. When you find yourself slipping into rumination, pause and take a deep breath. Look around you. Notice the colors, the sounds, the textures. This simple act of mindfulness can snap you back to the present, grounding you in the reality of the moment. And then there's gratitude. In the midst of our worrying, it's easy to overlook the blessings we have right now. By consciously acknowledging these blessings, be it the warmth of the sun, the comfort of a home, or the presence of loved ones, we shift our focus from lack to abundance, from fear to appreciation. Stoicism teaches us that it's not the external events themselves that upset us, but our judgments about them. By choosing to focus on the present and cultivate a sense of gratitude, we're not just breaking the cycle of rumination, we're also aligning ourselves with the Stoic ideal of living according to nature, which in this context means embracing life as it unfolds, moment by moment. Remember, each time you pull yourself back from the past or the future to the present, you're strengthening a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger that muscle gets and the less hold rumination will have over you. Living in the present, learning from the past without being anchored to it, and preparing for the future without being consumed by anxiety is the essence of Stoic wisdom. The Stoics understood that change is not just an inevitable part of life but an essential one. They viewed change as the natural order of the universe, a dance of transformations that offers opportunities for growth and wisdom. Rather than resisting change, Stoics advocate embracing it, seeing it as a pathway to becoming more resilient, adaptable, and ultimately more aligned with the flow of life. Suppose we could see change not as a threat but as an invitation, a challenge to explore, to learn, and to grow. When we shift our perspective in this way, the fear associated with change begins to dissipate. We start to see opportunities where we once saw obstacles. We find excitement in the prospect of new experiences and growth in the challenges they bring. But how do we make this shift? How do we learn to welcome change with open arms? It begins with a mindset shift. We must let go of the illusion of control, the belief that we can cling to the status quo. Instead, we embrace the Stoic understanding that the only true control we have is over our attitudes and actions in the present moment. Next, we can cultivate flexibility and adaptability, traits that allow us to navigate change with grace. This means being open to new ideas, willing to let go of old ones, and prepared to step outside our comfort zone. Remember, it's when we feel most uncomfortable that we often grow the most. Finally, we can practice seeing change from a perspective of gratitude. Every change, whether it seems positive or negative at the moment, brings lessons and opportunities. By focusing on what we can learn and how we can grow, we transform our experience of change from one of fear to one of curiosity and appreciation. So let's not fear change. Let's embrace it as the Stoics did, as an essential and enriching part of the human experience. Let's step out of our comfort zones, explore the new, and find joy in the journey of becoming. After all, it's through change that we have the opportunity to discover our potential, to test our limits, and to create a life that reflects our deepest values and desires. In the embrace of change, we find our true strength and our path to inner peace. It's easy to get caught up in minutiae, losing sight of what's truly important. The Stoics remind us that not everything deserves our energy and attention. They teach us the art of discernment, to recognize the difference between what we can change and what we must accept. This distinction is crucial because it empowers us to focus our thoughts where they will have the most impact, freeing us from the burden of unnecessary worries and distractions. So how can we practice this in our daily lives? Start by identifying your spheres of control. There are things you can control, such as your thoughts, actions, and responses. Then there are things beyond your control, like the weather, other people's actions, or past events. By focusing on what we can influence, we conserve our mental and emotional energy for what truly matters. For example, instead of dwelling on a colleague's rude comment, something outside your control, focus on how you choose to respond to it, which is within your control. Perhaps you decide to address it calmly and constructively, or maybe you choose to let it go and not let it affect your peace. By doing this, you're practicing the Stoic principle of controlling your response to external events rather than the events themselves. Another practical tip is to set boundaries. In our hyperconnected world, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the constant influx of information, demands, and expectations. Setting boundaries means being intentional about where you direct your focus and energy. It might mean turning off notifications during work hours, carving out time for self-reflection, or saying no to commitments that don't align with your values or priorities. Remember, not everything requires your immediate attention, and not every battle is yours to fight. By practicing discernment and setting boundaries, you align yourself more closely with the Stoic ideal of inner tranquility. You learn to conserve your energy for what truly matters, your growth, your relationships, your peace of mind. In a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming, Stoicism offers a path to clarity and focus. By distinguishing between what we can and cannot control and by setting boundaries, we create a life that is less reactive and more intentional, less scattered and more centered. This is not about disengaging from life but engaging more fully with what truly matters. So take a moment to reflect on your daily concerns and activities. Are you investing your energy in things that truly matter? Are you focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot? By aligning your focus with Stoic principles, you cultivate a life of purpose, resilience, and inner peace.